Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fajar Fadhlurrahman Shiddiq, name 190730014. On this occasion, I will present a presentation on the comparison of a 4-stroke engine with a 2-stroke engine. Understanding a 4-stroke engine and how it works. The 4-stroke engine is a machine that works through a 4-step process of up and down the piston for generates power. That's why it is called 4-stroke, because the machine requires 4-step work for one process. The 4 steps include the suction stroke, the compression stroke, the stroke power, and exhaust step. Overall, requires the crankshaft rotation in one cycle on a diesel engine or a gasoline engine. Number 1. Steps suction or intake. The purpose of this suction step is to allow air fuel mist to enter the cylinder motorcycle engine because of the large amount of fuel burned in the combustion process affect engine power production. The process is that the piston will move from the top dead center or TDC to the bottom dead center or TMD. Then the valve in open and the X valve will close so that fuel will enter the cylinder. The crankshaft will rotate 180 degrees, the camshaft rotate 90 degrees. Furthermore, the negative pressure of the piston shaft forked by the carburetor will be sucked in through the intake port. Number 2. Steps of compression. The purpose of this step is to increase the temperature so that the fuel mixture and air can be combined. This process ratio will be closely related to power production on the machine. The process is with the piston from the bottom dead center or TMB to the top dead center or TDC. The valve in closed and the X valve is closed so that the air or gas in the combustion chamber is compressed. Axle crashes. Achieve one full rotation 360 degrees, camshaft raises 180 degrees. Number 3. The power step combustion. Starting with ignition, the spark plug causing the fuel air to burn. In the process, this will cause an explosion which will push the piston down into the cylinder board. The linear motion is converted into a rotational motion by the US crosses, which is the continued towards the flywheel. The process is an explosion in the combustion chamber, which then causes the piston to be drawn from the top dead center or TDC to the bottom dead center or TMB. When this valve is closed and of the exhaust valve step start to be a little wasted from the process, alternating energy transformation occurs, turning the piston into the rotational energy of the US crutch revolution rates 540 degrees and US knock-and turns up to 270 degrees. Number 4. Step discard. In this exhaust step, and the X valve will open and the valve in will be closed. Then the piston rises because pushed back from the US crosses after the firing process. Through the exhaust port of the mass, the combustion will be pushed out by the piston. Next, definition and working principle of two-stroke engine. A two-stroke engine is an internal combustion engine that occurs in one combustion cycle two-stroke pistons, in contrast to a four-stroke rotation which has four-stroke piston in one combustion cycle. Despite all four processes, intake, compression, power, and disposal also occurs. Two-stroke engines have also been used in diesel engine, particular piston design. In contrast, low-speed vehicles such as large boat engine and V8 engine for truck and other heavy vehicles. Two-stroke motor working principle. To understand the principle of work, it is necessary to understand the standard terms that apply in engineering. Number 1, TDC or top dead center. The piston is at the very top point in the engine cylinder, or piston is at the point farthest from crankshaft. Number 2, TMB, bottom dead center, or BDC, bottom dead center. The piston of the piston is at the lowest point in the engine cylinder, or the piston is at the very bottom close to the crankshaft. Number 3, the range room. In the room under the piston where is a crankshaft, often referred to as the crankcase, function as the result gas mixture of air, fuel, and lubricant can be more evenly mixed. Next, scavenging, namely the process of removing gas from combustion and gas entry process for combustion in the combustion chamber. Step 1. The piston moves from TDC to TMB. Number 1. When the piston moves from TDC to TMB, it will press the range chamber which is under the piston. The further the piston leaves TDC towards TMB, that pressure in the range chamber increases even more. Number 2. At a certain point, the piston or piston ring will pass through the exhaust hole, gas and gas inlets. The piston of each hole depends on the designer. Generally, the piston ring will be through the drain hole first. Number 3. When the piston ring passes through the exhaust hole, gas is in the combustion chamber exits through the drain hole. Number 4. When the piston ring passes through the intake hole, the gas is compressed inside the recent chamber will be pumped into the combustion chamber, while twisting the gas is in the combustion chamber out through the exhaust hole. Number 5. The piston continues to press the range chamber until TMB point, while simultaneously pumping gas in the range chamber into the combustion chamber. Step 2. The piston moves from TMB to TDC. Number 1. When the piston moves TMB to TDC, it will suck out the resulting gas, the mixture of air, Fuel and lubricant enters the research chamber. Gas mixing is done by a carburetor or injector system. Number 2, when it passes through the inlet and exhaust hole, the piston will compress the gas trapped in the combustion chamber. Number 3, the piston will continue to compress the gas in the combustion chamber until TDC. Number 4, a few moments before the piston reaches TDC, the spark plug ignites to burn the gas in the combustion chamber. Time the spark plug before the piston reaches TDC with the aim so that the peak pressure in the combustion chamber due to combustion occurs when the piston starts moving from TDC to TMB, because the combustion process itself takes from start the spark plug until the gas burns completely. Access to stroke engine. Compared to a 4-stroke engine, the advantages of a 2-stroke engine are: number 1, the 2-stroke engine is more powerful than the 4-stroke engine. Number 2, 2-stroke engines are similar and lighter than 4-stroke engine. Number 3, 2-stroke engines are cheaper in production cost because of their low construction. Access 4-stroke engine. Number 1, consumption of gasoline is more efficient and the disadvantage of wasted gases are very small. Number 2, at low speed the motor can run smoothly and there are no errors in the combustion process caused by incomplete exhaust step. Number 3, each work process is completed along one full step so that it can work ideally, which causes the resulting average force to be higher. Number 4, suitably for high rotation because of the better flushing system. Simple. Despite the advantage mentioned above, it is rarely used in physical application, especially the car, because it has flaws. Lack of 2-stroke engine compared to 4-stroke engine. Number 1, the efficiency of a 2-stroke engine is lower than a 4-stroke engine. Number 2, 2-stroke engine require oil mixed with fuel or oil set 2-stroke oil for lubricant of engine cylinder. Number 3, 2-stroke engine produce more air pollution. The pollution occurs from combustion of said oil and gas from flushing chamber, which escape directly into cycles. Number 4, the lubricant of 2-stroke engine is not as good as 4-stroke engine, resulting in spare part in the combustion chamber component are relatively lower. So, for this presentation, I apologize if there are error. Hopefully, it will be useful. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.